Welcome to Deep Thought. Don't dwell on regrets. Don't dwell on regrets. Let me share something about myself. And I've said publicly, no, I wasn't always the best human being through life. Generally a good guy, but we all have our dark side. And there's some stuff that if I had a chance to go back in time and do it over, I would do it over. And you could call it a regret. And you know what it is, but I don't dwell on the regrets, because we all make mistakes. But see, here's the thing, I don't dwell on them because I learn from them. If I did something, harm someone or with my actions or my speech, I definitely regret it. But at the same time, I learned not to do it again. And the thing is, I don't dwell on it. Indeed, if I had to sit down and think about specific things, it would take a while. Because I don't dwell on it. See, a lot of people make mistakes in life, and everybody make mistakes, but see, some just say, okay, I did that, made a mistake, let me learn from it, let me move on from it. But a lot of people dwell on it. They dwell on that they lost that very good mate 20 years ago. They dwell on it, but you can't. That mate has moved on, you actually moved on. But you haven't moved on mentally, so you're still there. You're still in the past thinking about that person. Meanwhile, that person's moved on. Or you regret maybe not physically confronting somebody who was dealing with you in the past or bullying you in the past. And the thing is, you didn't do anything. But you should have learned from it not to get bullied again. But if you still worried about what this person did to you, whether physically or mentally, that person still owns you. That person got a place in your mind, living rent free. And while you still regretting that or worried about that, that person moved on. That person might even transitioned. You can't dwell on it. You got to learn on it and move on. See, a lot of people stuck. A lot of people are mentally stuck. They could have all the talent in the world, but they worried about a bad move that they made. Look, here's the thing I think. Everything, like I said, I had to think harder. I've done some bad things, and I got to think hard as to specifics because I don't dwell on it. Because once I would do it and I saw it was bad, then I would change my behavior. I would change it. I would change how I'm treating someone. I would change how I would do things. Because if I'm still worried about a person or what somebody did to me or what I did to a person, then what am I doing right now? See, when we going through life, it's all about learning anyway. When you starting to walk, you're going to fall down. I remember when my youngest son started to walk. He never really crawled. That was the funniest thing. He would get up and fall. Then he'd get up again, walk a little bit, fall. But then he got to the point he just got up and walked. And he didn't cry or anything when he fell. He would laugh. It was funny to him. It was funny to him. So he's always just laughed about stuff. He had to be in some real pain to be sad. But that's the thing. He didn't dwell on it. But then you get somebody else who's like, oh, I fell, I did this. What is that doing? Because people are really hurting themselves mentally. It's really, I'm gonna tell you what, I don't care what it is, whether it's being in a state of poverty, whether it's not finding the relationship you want, everything still comes down to the mind. Yeah, I know we can talk about how we look or where we were born and everything, but if you got that mindset, you can always grow. We're here to grow. We're on this planet to grow. This planet is really a classroom. When you're here and you want to be a better person than you were the day before, but you don't want to dwell on what you've done. You just don't want to do it again. You want to learn from it. You want to learn from it because trust me, when you learn from a mistake, when you learn from doing something bad, it opens up so much for you. Because then when you come to a crossroads in your life, and we all come to crossroads, you know how to make the better decision. You know how to make the better decision because you went through it before. You either had a negative impact or you negatively impacted someone else. But you learn, it's like, oh, wait a minute, I can't do this. I can't do this, you know? And this is on many levels. I had a business in this area and it failed. Why did it fail? I can't regret that it failed. I got to learn from it. And then the next time I'm in either another business or the same business, I just don't do it again. But see, when you dwell, you're stuck. And when you're stuck, you don't move. A lot of people aren't moving, and it's mental. Seriously, because y'all know me, I talk about success. I talk about success, whether it's with women, whether it's in life, period. But how you gonna be successful if you still stuck someplace? You're still stuck. You know, yeah, no, that girl didn't like you when you were in the 10th grade. Okay, what did you learn from it? You know? And that guy, you know what, that guy, for the ladies, that guy, you know what, he dogged you out. Okay, what did you learn from it? What you should have learned from it was, the women should have learned, hey, you know what, be careful next time you run into a similar guy. Take your time. Don't get caught up, keep your eyes open. For the man, shoot, a woman rejected him in the 10th grade, just say, okay, what was I doing at that time to get rejected? But you don't focus on it. Because I'm going to tell you what, let me use myself for an example. There have been people who jumped on me or pointed out some stuff, and I thank them. I thank them. I say, you know what, thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. And it is so bad, they come down on me. But then I'm like, well, hold up. They pointed out something. I don't like to make mistakes. And I mean, I'm going to, but I don't like to. So I don't like to make the same mistake twice. And that's something I can honestly say for my life personally. That's one thing I could say. I got really think hard of when I did the same thing twice. Now, I would say I would have a pattern, but you know, so that may be a pattern or something, but a deliberate mistake, and the patterns, I changed that. So it's like, okay, you change it, because I would change it. And even then, I wouldn't call it making the same mistake twice. I would call it, once the pattern was pointed out to me or I figured it out, I wouldn't do it anymore. And that's how you have to be. That's how you have to be. Don't dwell on it. See, your mind is powerful. See, the whole point of this channel is to get you to think. It's not even about co-signing me or agreeing. Like I always say, if you got an agreement, as long as it's respectful, it's not attacking anyone or attacking me, and you're just saying, well, this is what I think. Always hard to comment. People can attest to that. Because I want you to think, as long as you show you thought about it, I'm good with it. As long as you ain't disrespectful to someone else, I don't tolerate that. You can express your opinion without being disrespectful. And it's not even a disagreement, it's just really what you think. Because really in those situations, the different perspective, y'all come together, and then somebody else might come with some, y'all bring it all together, then you can see some stuff. So, and that could get into a whole other conversation. But here's the thing. Don't dwell on it. Don't dwell on it. You can have the regret, but don't get stuck there. You know, yeah, you could have did it differently, so do it differently when you come across the same situation in the future. That's when you do it differently. You know? And if you need to make restitution or, you know, apologize, do that to the person. I've actually done that with people I might have did something 2 years ago. I've done that. Like I had an ex-girlfriend, and, you know, found her on Facebook, and I just sent her a note. I just said, look, you know what? I was a knucklehead. I was a straight knucklehead, you know, and I hope everything is going well for you, you know? And it just made me feel good. She didn't respond, and I was good with that. I said, nah, did my part. But I ain't dwell on it. So you got to move on. Don't dwell on the regrets. Learn from them and then keep rising. Anyway, y'all have a great day today. Peace and many blessings.